Positive end, the knob should always stick out. It does, that you can fit them both ways, but if the positive end goes in towards where the spring is, it won't engage the battery.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fairly easy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So always want to make sure that you put a new battery in. So what is the benefit of having this powered by a single AA battery for every study? There's a couple. One being, if there's a power outage, you lose power to the C1, you lose power to the CPAP machine, you lose power to
But
the
your
camera.
head box is
This
still
is
running.
still recording.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you don't, if it's a diagnostic study and they're just breathing on their nasal cannula, you don't need to even let the patient know that there's power outage. Of course, if there's a CPAP machine involved, they'll probably wake up and
Yeah.
the CPAP pressure has stopped. But that you will always have the ability, because we're collecting data, not just streaming to the computer, we're also collecting data onto the flash drive inside the device. So you can, like with the HSTs, connect this to a USB cable, right?
Upload it.
And then download and merge the data.
Oh, okay.
So that's the first benefit. The second being, with this you are not connected to any of the electrical mains. Therefore, signal artifact will be greatly reduced.
Awesome.
So you'll have
Because there'll be
a
no
lot more.
wires crossing and
Yeah.
all that other good stuff.
So everything here from the patient, as you see, we have this is all just a standard full PSG per the ASM. So when it comes to like RBD studies, if it comes to measurements of arms and that kind of stuff, we will need to shift some things around. But I don't think we have done any of those configurations in the software just
So
yet.
no seizure
Not in this
montage.
office. We don't do those in this office.
I do.
Have you? I've never had a seizure montage.
So we do.
Really?
It would
We
help to
we'll
have the
see
montage set
what
up though.
Emory has purchased as it relates to, we have a head box called the R40, which will then enable you to do a full 1020.
Okay.
That connects to the this USB port right here.
Okay.
All right, but that's a separate box.
Okay.
But this is what you would then be, putting on the patient. My recommendation would be, when you're doing the hookups, and of course we'll be here tomorrow and also on Wednesday for those that are working here for the studies, is to start with everything that is kind of inside of the clothing. Start with the legs, get into the EKG, get that all sorted right here, and then applying you can put the belts on at any time. You can put the cannula on, and that's usually at the end of things. But then you have the inputs here, and these are going to be the single use disposable EEG electrodes. And so these are your electrodes. They have the same standard 1.5 millimeter touch-proof connector.
Okay.
And they just pop into any of the inputs right here, and they're relatively snug. So yeah, so you can actually, so it's pretty snug. So I'm pleased with that. So the really nothing else that needs to be kind of done with the device other than just
Where does
obviously
the pulse ox go?
the pulse ox. I'm not done. We'll get to that.
I thought he was.
Right. So,
So
question:
separate.
after we got the patient hooked up
Yep.
and they're ready for bed, we push that button in the middle to turn that on, or no?
That's all done from the control.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
All done from the control.
Okay.
The display, as you can see, I press the center button to engage the battery.
Okay.
It has an instruction here. We have the clock, we have a battery indicator, and then we have a Bluetooth logo, very small, very faint, and has an X. So we're not paired with an oximeter. That is
Okay.
all to do with communicating to the oximeter.
Okay.
Oh,
The
okay.
oximeter is over here. So it is a Bluetooth oximeter.
Oh, okay.
So there's no cord from this device
it's a
to
watch.
the
It's like a
this-
watch pad.
It's almost like a watch pad, yes. But so when we
gotta pair 'em?
built or configured the software, we set the oximeter for room 2, which we have labeled.
Okay.
We have labeled.
Okay.
We want to keep the devices labeled for each room in each room.
Okay.
It does matter because we've configured the software in such a way. It is possible to switch out if something breaks, but but we do want to keep them all because, for example, when we're setting this up, we're not looking for a serial number. We're looking for a specific Bluetooth indicator.
Okay.
That's this thing underneath here called BDA number. This code D87A3B.
So we just leave these things in a room.
So just leave them together. That's where the carry case comes in. Just always keep these as a pair. And so you always want to pay attention to which device is in which room. Okay? But this, like I said, is a Bluetooth device. So when we start the study, we are starting this on Bluetooth, and so there is no cord from this connecting into there. These guys are talking to one another.
Okay.
All right. So all of this is all driven by Bluetooth. And the main thing about this device is that here, this little dongle, as we call it right here, this is a Bluetooth antenna.
Okay.
That's why we're thinking of mounting this. So
Yeah.
that because this thing needs to have a line of sight over the bed.
Right.
If this is removed, then obviously we're not going to be able to talk to the device.
Right.
That's always has to be here. So there, all you're seeing with this, or all you need to think about here is that there is a power cord. It's connected to the UPS here at the bottom. This yellow Ethernet cable that goes into the wall, and that's how we communicate back to the control room.
Okay.
And then this little Bluetooth antenna right here. So and that just needs to be there. Now we do, in the case if we were to use, for example, if we were to use like Respironics Omnilab, we would have then had to use these ports here for the analog,
Okay.
like for flow, pressure, leak, and tidal volume.
Right. Okay.
That's what these guys here are for.
Okay.
If you have a Centec, and if those that are working in the other labs that have Centec devices, we'll be connecting those into these ports right here, COM1, COM2. These are our serial ports.
Okay.
But here you don't have a Centec, so this is not. There's not going to be interconnected here.
Okay.
What if we have issues? You have a 1-800 number?
Yes, of course. We have 24/7 tech support, 844-47